Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be ranking all 32 LEGO games released on console since 2005. In this list I will not be counting any game that went either straight to mobile or straight to browser, because they're like a completely different thing. Enjoy the video. It feels unfair putting LEGO Chima Online this low on the list because it was just given an awful hand, honestly. It was an MMORPG made for little kids about a show no one watched, and it was discontinued a year and a half after it came out. I just feel bad for it, honestly. I do kind of wish I could have played the game because it does look quite interesting, but the servers have been down for like 9 years now and I just had to put it in last.
You need to leave!
The Legends of Chima, Lavu's Journey is just fine. It's another LEGO Chima game and there's nothing I can really say about this. It's just a normal sandboxy style game, I guess, and this is just one of the most boring games I've ever played. There's no depth to it, there's no intrigue or mystery. It's just a kid's license game. That's it, no more no less. I do not care about Bionicles. I have never cared about Bionicles, and Bionicle Heroes is no different. I just don't care. The game just isn't fun. It's just a weird Gears of War rip with some of the most repulsive graphics I've ever seen. But in my opinion, the best version of this game is actually on the GBA. It's like a sci-fi dystopian version of Contra with these awesome pixel graphics. Any other version of this game is awful. The Game Boy Advanced version is the only reason I'm putting this above Lavu's Journey. LEGO Ninjago Battles was actually the first LEGO game I ever played, probably one of the first video games I ever played. I remember I got it from my Nintendo DS back in the day and I thought it was alright, and I still do. I love the art style, I love how it adapts itself to the DS's hardware, I love how it acts as a fun expansion of Ninjago's world and story. The issue is, however, that this game's scale just pales in comparison to every single other game on this list. It just doesn't feel like it's got the same lock on its grandiosity and style. Ninjago Battles is actually the sequel to another game, LEGO Battles, which released in 2009, and both games have a pretty sturdy but imperfect premise that does end up being spread a little bit thin, though they both feature fun moments along the way. It's just a lot smaller than every other game on this list. LEGO Ninjago Shadow of Ronin is the first game on this list that features the traditional LEGO format, and while this isn't a console game, it was originally released on 3DS and PS Vita, this game does do a pretty good job at capturing the same magic as the console games do. It's also pretty hype that this game has a story that works in tandem with the rest of the Ninjago series. Fans who played this game have a greater context of the series' story than fans who didn't. And the free play on this game is amazing. I remember spending hours back in the day trying to unlock the golden ninja on the final level, and I just couldn't over and over and over and over again, but I got him eventually. The worst thing about this game is the lack of a true open world. The open world we have is just essentially a mission select screen that you have to navigate between. But a game like this could be doing a lot more to fleshing itself out a bit.
FBI, open up!
In case you didn't know, LEGO City Undercover The Chase Begins was actually the first ever open world game on the 3DS of any genre, and to be honest with you, that's literally all the game's got going for it. There's nothing else. Sure, the game's charming and has a lot of character, and I really do appreciate that instead of just being a watered down port of the Wii U game, it tries to make itself different by making it a prequel, but this game is just way too buggy, bro. It feels like the devs got 90% into development and then just called it a day. You cannot play this game for more than 10 minutes without encountering literally hundreds of bugs. I'm serious, it's borderline unplayable. And this is just a small thing, but when you're going around the open world, there's no music or ambient noise. All you hear is the occasional car horn or sirens. It just feels really weird and lonely.
Oh my gosh, I love this song!
The fast mainline console game on this list, LEGO Movie 2 feels really outdated when compared to the games that came out at a similar time. LEGO DC Supervillains came out 4 months before LEGO Movie 2 did and is better in literally every way imaginable. And I've honestly just always hated how these LEGO Movie games look. The movies are beautiful, some of the best animation I've ever seen in a movie, and the games always strip that away to look like generic LEGO games. It sucks. Being the most recent game on this list, LEGO 2K Drive does have something good to offer, but that pretty fun gameplay is caked in the most predatory microtransactions I've ever seen. This game reeks of desperation, desperate to trick little kids into buying as much in-game garbage as possible. The graphics don't look too bad though, and take away the in-game purchases and there might be a lot of potential here for future LEGO racing games. I loved the Lego Movie. I saw it right when it came out and I could not stop thinking about it for months. Every single day leading it to release, I'd try and look up things about it and find out more and more, and once it came out, it did not disappoint. What did disappoint, however, was the Lego Movie game, because nothing had changed. It was the same as every other Lego game that came before, which sucked, honestly. Like I talked about in the Lego Movie 2 game, it's the beautiful visuals of these movies that make them stand out, and honestly, these games end up probably being the ugliest of all of them, with their over-reliance on everything being made up of Lego bricks as opposed to some of the more realistic environments in the other games. The open world and character rosters in this game are still impressive. It still works as a Lego game on a fundamental level. Like the Lego Movie and the Lego Movie 2, TGCgames also made a game for the Lego Ninjago movie, and honestly, it's not too bad. It still includes the same weird visual style as the other two movie games, but I think this one improves it a little bit, and I always really appreciated how many references to the series there are in this game. It was so cool seeing the Ninjago characters realised in this huge console game, and to reflect the fact that you are playing as a ninja for the majority of this game, they completely revamped the combat into this really fluid, dynamic system that works really well. But to be honest with you, for the most part, this game just feels like filler. There's nothing really interesting here past what I've already mentioned. It's alright, I guess. This was a weird one. LEGO released 3 sets based off the Incredibles 2 movie and then decided to come up with an entire game based on it. The game follows the events of the Incredibles and the Incredibles 2 and does a pretty good job. While the original Incredibles is one of my favourite animated movies of all time, it really does feel like there isn't enough in either of these movies to justify a full-length game based on it. However, the game does capture the Incredibles aesthetic pretty well, and the open world is great, and it features characters from every single Pixar movie, including Lightning McQueen. I think there's something amazing at LEGO World's core, and if that central idea was properly utilised, it could have genuinely been among the greatest sandbox games of all time, but they failed to understand the game's own potential. LEGO Worlds is slogged down by boring UI and a lame, undercooked mission system that barely works. Like I said about The Chase Begins, this is a game that feels completely unfinished in the worst way possible. LEGO The Hobbit is just your bog standard mid-2010s LEGO game. Nothing more, nothing less. The game has an interesting open world and a deep roster of characters. The issue is that, like The Incredibles, it only follows 2 movies, and unlike The Incredibles, the 2 movies this game's adapted from suck. Heck, all of this stuff could have been included with LEGO Lord of the Rings, which released 2 years earlier. I really do think that if they combined all 6 of these movies into one big connected game, like Skywalker Saga did with Star Wars, it could be the greatest LEGO game of all time. But this game isn't that, and this is just mediocre.
Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill.
To be honest, LEGO The Hobbit and LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens are pretty interchangeable as games, the main difference being that I just like Star Wars more than I like Lord of the Rings, and that unlike the first 2 Hobbit movies, The Force Awakens is actually a good film. The main issue with this game is that it really does feel like they're stretching this one movie way too thin. We don't need a mission collecting cookies for Chewbacca. A lot of this game just feels like useless padding. This was kind of the first ever open world LEGO Star Wars game, though not really. I will say that a really fun part of this game was going around collecting the carbonite bricks that then let you unlock old classic Star Wars characters. That was pretty good, though the rest of this game isn't really anything special. LEGO Jurassic World is pretty much the exact same thing as LEGO The Hobbit and LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens, but in this game you can design your very own custom dinosaur, and in my opinion that's enough to put above the other 2 instantly.
Comes great responsibility.
We could have had it all with LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2. The first game is incredible and I was expecting the second game to be even better. This game deals with time travel and has a really interesting, if not fully realised, open world. The main issue with LEGO Marvel 2 is the really limited character roster. Because Disney had an iron fist over only a certain percent of the Marvel brand at the time this game came out, they completely disallowed TGCgames from including any reference of the X-Men or the Fantastic Four. Both were key aspects of LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 1. Despite all that, this game does have a fun story and an interesting open world. This is a pretty good game.
Avengers!
LEGO Marvel's Avengers is a perfectly serviceable adaptation of those first 2 Avengers movies. I do think this does mark the point, however, where these games just started to get a little bit stiff. A lot of that classic LEGO humor has just been swapped out for just animals in scenes, because random equals funny, I guess. I do really like how this game featured additional levels based on Iron Man 3, Thor the Dark World, Winter Soldier and Ant-Man. Though the open world in this game is a little underwhelming. It's just the same version of New York from LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 1, with some extra areas thrown in there like Asgard or Washington DC. Though this game does feature Fin Fan Foom, who is genuinely one of the coolest characters in any of these games. LEGO Lord of the Rings is pretty good, though I'm not sure how much of that can be attributed to the game itself compared to just the incredible trilogy that it's based on, the 3 Lord of the Rings movies. More so than any other LEGO game, Lord of the Rings does a really great job at capturing scale on these huge battles and worlds, the beauty of the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, in a way that's incredible considering it was on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 generation of consoles. LEGO Indiana Jones 2, The Adventure Continues, is by far the weirdest game on this list. Not only does it feature a full remake of the original LEGO Indiana Jones trilogy, it also includes a full LEGO adaptation of The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which, is kind of a bad movie, but the game is fine. In my opinion, the big thing holding this game back, however, is just the weird open world and how it barely works and how confusing it is. It massively slows down the game. The weirdest thing about LEGO Indiana Jones 2 is that it's the only LEGO game to have full online multiplayer. It's crazy and incredible, and why did this never come back? That's not even getting onto the fact that there's a full level creator inside this game. I still don't get why they haven't brought back the level creator or the online multiplayer in any LEGO game since this. It's baffling. LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham is pretty good, I guess. I really appreciate seeing how the LEGO Batman franchise has evolved. These games went from just being about Batman and Robin to being about the entire Justice League, which I think is really cool. Though I still don't understand why they took the most beloved and groundbreaking aspects of LEGO Batman 2, being the massive open world Gotham City, and just threw it out, replacing it with some lame Green Lantern planets instead. They literally brag about this in the game's subtitle Beyond Gotham. The character roster in this game is really good, though, genuinely a contender for the greatest in any of these games, such a rich exploration of the DC Comics legacy. There isn't anything I can really say about LEGO Pirates of the Caribbean, to be honest, just your quintessential LEGO game. Great gameplay, fun characters, it's a decent adaptation of the movies. Though in my opinion, it's not different enough from any of the other LEGO games to stick out. If you've played one LEGO game, you've played LEGO Pirates of the Caribbean.
I'm the Joker, baby!
LEGO DC Supervillains is undoubtedly one of the most underrated LEGO games of all time. The game is huge with hundreds of characters and a really clever open world. In the context of the game, Gotham City and Metropolis are both right next to each other, allowing players to fly from one iconic city to another. I know this sounds silly, but the story on this game is also quite a bit more mature than the other LEGO games, and pretty much every DC character, hero or villain, gets a moment in the spotlight. And all this is without mentioning LEGO's greatest ever custom character creator, featuring full of fluid customization options. This is a great game.
Swish and flick.
For this list, I decided to count both Harry Potter games as one for simplicity reasons, as outside of story, they are pretty much the exact same game. I love that in this game, all of Hogwarts is available as an open world, and I think the whole spell system is a great addition to the classic LEGO format. The story and vibe of Harry Potter franchise are honestly a perfect fit for the LEGO games, and recent rumours of a Skywalker Saga style LEGO Harry Potter game have me really excited.
Hello, I like money.
Way back in 2015, LEGO Dimensions was the first video game I ever pre-ordered. And once it came out, I loved it. I actually even put up a few LEGO Dimensions YouTube videos back in the day on this very channel, which got me like 20 quid in ad revenue, so thanks YouTube, I guess. Even including Skywalker Saga, LEGO Dimensions has by far the biggest scale of any LEGO game ever, with 29 fully realised open worlds, each of which are as big as any other LEGO game. LEGO Dimensions is obviously a Toys to Life game, which should be a match made in heaven for LEGO games. You have to physically use LEGO pieces to build the portal, characters and vehicles you use in the game, which is awesome. However, the big issue with LEGO Dimensions is the price. In the US, the starter pack costs $100, and all of the expansion packs together combined would cost more than $1,000. You heard that right, it costs over $1,000 to 100% LEGO Dimensions. And I get why, LEGO is expensive, but this is ridiculous, come on.
It's a trap!
LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is huge. With 24 planets, over 400 playable characters, and so much to do in the Star Wars galaxy is honestly incredible. If not with a bunch of weird, annoying issues that kind of drag it back from its full potential. This was actually the first LEGO game to never have a character customizer, they just didn't add it for some reason. And like a lot of other people have said, I feel like this game could have really benefited from an online multiplayer mode, similar to the online mode in LEGO Indiana Jones 2, that would make sense why it wasn't added, as that is the only LEGO game to have online multiplayer I know the LEGO games do. It's also really weird and annoying how certain segments of the story are counted as levels and some aren't, that there are entire extended parts of the game that you can never replay in free play mode. That sucks, honestly. And I am just nitpicking and being a bit too harsh on this game. It's without a doubt the biggest LEGO game ever created, and similarly to Ninjago, they completely revamped the combat system, adding a bit more depth and nuance to the fighting segments in the game. LEGO Indiana Jones The Original Adventures is what every other LEGO game should strive to be. An iconic open world, super tight gameplay and a story that pretty accurately retells the tales of Indiana Jones in a LEGO format. Unsurprisingly, the soundtrack here also slaps, repackaging Indiana Jones' iconic symphony, and also strangely enough using music from the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles TV series. You can also unlock and play as Han Solo, which I think is pretty cool.
Another happy landing.
Everything changed when LEGO Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars released. While at the surface this may look the same as every other LEGO game, trust me, it's so much more. One of the coolest hub worlds ever in a LEGO game, and while not the biggest, it features 2 huge command ships, one for the heroes and one for the villains, which characters can fly between and infiltrate. It's honestly so cool. Also, players can engage in these really awesome battle scenarios, where players control armies against battle droids and other enemies. As part of these battle scenarios, you can also just jump in and out of vehicles during missions, similar to Battlefront 2, which this is the first LEGO game to ever allow that for some reason. Interestingly enough, LEGO Star Wars 3 has cheat codes that just let you unlock every single possible character, vehicle and extra at no cost. Fantastic game. LEGO City Undercover had absolutely everything going against it. LEGO City Undercover and LEGO City Undercover Chase Begins are the only games on this list that aren't based off a TV show, movie, book, etc. To add insult to injury, LEGO City Undercover also launched exclusively for the Wii U, which no one wanted, no one had. It was pretty much doomed from the start. But despite all that, LEGO City Undercover is amazing. A huge, epic scale with a lot of characters and heart and really fun, engaging story. But the open world on this game is a whole other beast with 20 huge districts, all completely different from one another based off real world cities. Unlike usual LEGO games where your play as a huge roster of characters, you're only going to be playing as one guy for the majority of this game, Chase McCain. Instead of getting access to more characters as the story goes on, Chase unlocks more abilities, which then help him unlock levels and gameplay sections and puzzles, etc. Good god, this game is incredible. I'm Batman. We have now entered the elite tier of LEGO games, starting with LEGO Batman the video game. Similarly to LEGO City Undercover, you play as just 2 characters throughout all 15 main levels, equipping different suits to unlock different abilities. The game features pretty much Batman's entire rogues gallery, from well-known villains like Joker and Riddler to more obscure villains like Clayface and Killer Moth. Each level focuses around a villain, like for example Mr. Freeze level, which takes place in an ice cream factory, or the Poison Ivy level, which takes place in a big garden. The game completely changes, however, once you've completed the 15 main missions as Batman and Robin, and Arkham Asylum opens up, allowing you to play another 15 unique missions from the villain's point of view, which pretty much doubles the game's content. I also really love that this game features a bunch of Batman's allies like Alfred, Batgirl, Nightwing, Commissioner Gordon as playable characters. This game is really something special.
Hello there.
LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga is perfection. There's nothing I could possibly say about this game that hasn't already been said, so I'll keep it brief. Combining the first and second LEGO Star Wars game, The Complete Saga manages to completely recapture the same magic that's found the first time you watch those original Star Wars films. Also, Indiana Jones is the best character in this game by far.
Bruce, it's been 5 years. You still owe me $16.
If LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga started the LEGO game format, then LEGO Batman 2 perfected it. It's the first LEGO game with open world, it's the first LEGO game with voice acting, it's the first LEGO game with flying and super speed mechanics. I could go on and on about how LEGO Batman 2 changed these games forever. This game also acts as a huge upgrade on the original LEGO Batman the video game, expanding Batman and Robin's adventure into the adventure of the entire Justice League. That's right, Superman plays a key part in this game, as does his arch nemesis Lex Luthor. Honestly, the chemistry between Batman and Superman in this game is so iconic. Genuinely hilarious writing. I also love the open world in this game. They go for this gothic Barton era type vibe with Gotham City, and I think it's amazing. But there is one LEGO game better. LEGO Marvel Superheroes is an absolute spectacle and a marvel in game design, no pun intended. While LEGO Batman 2 does focus on the Justice League, Batman is by far the main character and the entire game is focused around him. While in LEGO Marvel Superheroes, dozens of characters across Marvel's entire catalogue had time in the spotlight, and every corner of the Marvel world is portrayed. From X-Men to Asgard to Venom to Galactus, this game is massive. Similar to Marvel Spider-Man on the PS4, the open world in this game is a full recreation of Manhattan, fully populated by hundreds of Marvel characters. You can also fly up in the air and access the helicarrier, which gives you access to extras and character customizers, etc. Honestly, the worst thing about this game is the circumstances it released under. It came out at the same time as Iron Man 3 and Thor the Dark World, so all the DLC and promotional material is tied to these two mediocre movies. But that's pretty much it. I played and ranked every LEGO game and ranked them from worst to best. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe. If you disagreed with anything I said, comment below. I would love to hear what you have to think. Thanks for watching, see you later.